to talk about the match function. Now, I'm just going to go over a really basic example of the match function. I would consider match one of the more advanced functions in Excel, because usually it's used in conjunction with a few other things to get your end result. In any case, here's what it does. The match function is going to take a lookup value. So let's just say I want a function that looks at this value here, goes and takes it into this array of values over here, and finds out if there's a match in that array or not. If it did find a match, so in this case, it would have found a match here, it will tell me the position of the match in the list. So it'll tell me a formula result of 4. So here's how the match function works. I would do equals match open bracket. And the first piece is the lookup value. So in this particular example, it would be D2. Then I'm going to do comma. Then it says lookup array. So that would be the list that I want to go and find a match in. So I'm going to, in this case, use A2 to A9. Now, in a lot of cases, not all, but in a lot of cases, this array is not moving or changing. So we would need to make sure we used our absolute values around that range. Then another comma. The last piece of the match function determines whether it's less than match, an exact match, or a greater than match. So these are really going to be more applicable when we're dealing with numbers. For this text value, I want to find an exact match. So I'm going to type in 0 and then close the bracket. So if I had entered to this, you'll see I get the position in the list of 4. So it says 1, 2, 3, 4. I found a match. There's the position. If I change this value, let's say I look for an F, it tells me that's at position 6 in the list. Of course, if I look for something not on the list, we need to know what it would return. And in this case, because I specified an exact match, it would return not applicable. Okay, so it would return an error. Say, I can't find that in the list, an exact match, so not applicable. All right, so this is just a basic structure of a match function. If that's all you needed, you can stop watching now. If you wanted to see match in a practical example, then stick around, and I'm going to show that to you now. So I have an example here where I've created a 4-week schedule, and I have some holidays listed on the side. So if I was generating some sort of schedule or a calendar type thing. And what I'd like to do is I would like a match function that essentially looks at the date above my schedule, and then checks if it's a holiday. If it is, then put in holiday. If it's not, then put in school day. So this is going to involve a few functions. Now I have an if just sitting here as a placeholder, and what I need to do is in the test here, I'm going to use my match function. So I'm actually going to get it to match, and this is my lookup value, that date. I want it to look it up in, let's say, this array. I'm going to give myself some space to enter more holidays if needed. And let's not forget that that is going to always be in those cells, so I'm going to make it an absolute reference. And then a comma, and I do want to find an exact match, so I'm going to put in 0. Now, I want to say if the match, in this case, equals 0. Now, 0 is a bit of a conundrum here, because remember, if it doesn't find a match, it returns not applicable. It doesn't return 0. Which means I'm actually going to have to use this in conjunction with a function called if-error. Now, I'll be going over if-error in another video, so if you wanted more information about the if-error function, be sure to check that video out. It's coming out, I think, in the next couple days. So, essentially what it's done is if there is an error message now, or a not applicable, it's going to convert that into 0. So it says if the match is equal to 0, meaning it did not find a match, well, then I want to put in school day. If it did find a match, meaning it's not equal to 0, meaning 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever it might be, it will then put in no classes because it would have found a match. So I hit enter there. You can see that September 7th, not on my holiday list, so that is a school day. I could fill this formula across, and then I'm just going to copy and paste this down. You can actually see as soon as I pasted that formula to the holidays I had listed, it automatically switched it. So if I happen to add a holiday in here, let's just add in a holiday on the 7th. That'll be easiest to see. So that means this should switch now to a holiday day. There you go. No classes. So the match function has a lot of different uses. This is just one of them. If you wanted more information about The if error function, that's in another video, and I do have another video online on my YouTube channel here that explains the dollar signs and the absolute references.